So since the last video, I've done 2 streams of the Chelsea save, so there's quite a bit to catch you up on. Let's not waste any more time. Let's see how we're getting on in our bid to try and win Chelsea the league title in just 1 season. I won't lie to you, it's a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So looking at the league table then, 18 games into the season, which is, nearly enough around the halfway point. We've already had the Winter World Cup, so that's out of the way, thankfully. But yes, 18 games in, you can see we are currently 4th in the Premier League table. And if there's one thing that is glaringly obvious, we don't score enough goals, and we concede a few too many. 7 goal difference compared to Man City's 33. It's a bit of an issue, isn't it? So since we last met then was the 1-1 draw against Bayer Leverkusen. I know it says 2-2 there. Basically, I forgot the game was still open when I turned my PC off after that first stream. So I had to basically, re-sim the Leverkusen game and make sure that the points from all 4 teams in our group were the same, and eventually we got there. So we carried on, so we got the draw with Leverkusen, and then back into Premier League action. Now, we obviously did have a bit of a slow start. Since that slow start, we absolutely turned things around, and we went on a fantastic unbeaten run. Leicester were beaten 2-1 at home. Kai Havertz getting 2 goals. I decided to make him probably my main striker in this team. I feel like a little bit of real life bias came into my decision making when I first set the team up. And what I mean by that is I don't really think Kai Havertz is that great of a striker in real life, but we're looking at his attribute profile in FM. He's actually a really good advanced forward, I think. He's got great finishing, composure and off the ball as well as technique, and he's not that slow either. Obviously, he's only got 13 acceleration, but that 17 pace I think could be really useful. Plus an 18 first touch is never something to be sniffed at either. Following that then was another draw in the Champions League, a 0-0 away at Porto. And just after that, the game's coming thick and fast before the World Cup, we had to go to Anfield. And we got a very respectable 1-1 draw with Yusuf Poulsen getting an equaliser, his first goal for the club as well in the 72nd minute. Into October then, we took on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got us the winning goal against his former club. And this was followed up by a 3-0 win away at Olympiacos, a 1-1 draw away at Leeds United, and a 5-0 win at home against Olympiacos once again in the Champions League. A really disappointing 0-0 draw away at Brentford followed, and this came after Manchester City, I believe, lost a game. They dropped points and we were not able to capitalise, and that was kind of a theme of this month and kind of our season, really. Whenever Manchester City do drop points, we're never really there to capitalise, which is why we're now 9 points below them in the table rather than just 3 or 4 points. More wins did follow though, with us beating Southampton by 3-1 and a 2-1 away win against Fulham, and then a 2-0 home win against FC Porto in the Champions League, followed by, oh, I hate this, Nottingham Forest were 19th when we played them. So you can imagine my surprise when they went into a very early 2-0 lead. We did manage to thankfully pull it back to 2-2 with goals from Mount and Aubameyang, but again, it was one of those situations where City had dropped points prior to this game and we were just unable to capitalise, which, so it happens to you all the time in FM, right? You lose to a team in the relegation zone when you need to win. It's incredibly frustrating. Never change, FM. Never change. There was good news though in Europe as we rounded off our Champions League group with a thumping 4-1 win away at Bayer Leverkusen, which saw us finish top of the Champions League group stages. And just to give you a little, look into the future, we've been drawn against Napoli in the round of 16, which should be a very, it's not an easy tie, but it could have been a lot worse. We could have had PSG. Thankfully, we didn't. Back to league action then. Everton and Brighton were dispatched of rather comfortably, and that was either side of a 4-0 win against Millwall in the League Cup. And then the World Cup happened, and it all kind of fell apart after that. We came back from the World Cup, and our first game back, of course, was Manchester City in the League Cup 4th round. Erling Haaland beat us by... It wasn't Man City who beat us, it was Erling Haaland. 2-1. We played quite well. It was quite a close game, but he's very good this year. I should also mention, just in case you've noticed Marcus Bettinelli playing in goal, that wasn't a choice of mine. Edouard Mendy got himself injured with a pulled knee ligaments, which ruled him out for a couple of weeks. By the time we play the Manchester City game, which is going to be in today's video, he will be fit for it. Whether he's actually fit in game or not, I don't care. I'm not playing Bettinelli anymore. Things got worse after that. We played Newcastle at home and lost to a last minute. Joe Linton scored a goal to win Newcastle the game 4 minutes from time to give him a 2-1 win. We were absolutely terrible. And what followed was a 0-0 draw at the London Stadium against West Ham. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang missing a penalty in this one, which most likely would have seen us get all 3 points. But it didn't. We only came with the 1, and as a result, we now find ourselves in 4th behind Arsenal and Newcastle, and we are only just about hanging on to our spot in the top 4, with us being level on points and goal difference with Aston Villa and just a point above United and a couple of points above Liverpool. So it is still all very much to play for. I don't want to be defeatist. I feel like the league might already be gone. Again, Manchester City, he's got 22 in 18. And that's, like, by Haaland standards in FM23, that's not even that good of a season. So we are now in the January window, and I decided to, try and bolster the squad a little bit. But to do so, because we only had about £13 million, I decided we did have to try and move a couple of players on in order to raise some transfer funds. And that's exactly what we did. So Cesar Azpilicueta is going to be joining Real Madrid in a few days' time. We only get about £5 million for him. It will rise to 10 million with instalments, but the main thing is he was on 150 grand a week, and I just wanted to get his wages off the books so it could free up, give us a little bit more wiggle room in terms of the transfer budget. And Trevor Chalobah is also going to Spain. He's going to Atletico Madrid for £29 million. So obviously on this one, wages not so much of a problem, but getting 29 million quid for a player who I have barely played this season, I think is pretty good business. Now, I said about the ins, I'm gonna get this one out of the way quickly. Feel free to shout at me in the comments. All I can do is apologise. I have signed Andy Carroll. Now, admittedly, someone in the Twitch chat suggested him as a joke, and I was able to get him for £25,000 and thought, do you know what? Yusuf Poulsen is my plan B. What's wrong with a plan C? C stands for Andy Carroll. Should we move on? We should probably move on. And I, of course, made the signing that everyone is going to be making FM this year. Andreas Schelderup. I think I've nailed that first time. He has joined us from Norgeland. I think I've nailed that first time as well. I'm getting good at this. He joins us for just £7.5 million. And as you can see, for just 18 years of age, very, very good player. In all fairness, I did feel like we needed some competition for Raheem Sterling on that left-hand side because our only other option was Aubameyang, and actually getting an out-and-out winger, well, not an inverted winger, as that is the role Sterling is playing, on that side to give him a little bit of competition, I don't think is that much of a bad thing. Shout out to João Felix as well. He's finally scored his first goal for the club in the most recent stream. He's played 18 games. Cost me 100 million. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist in the league this year. Yeah, it's not been a great signing. I'll be the first to admit. So then, as I mentioned, we are going to play a game in today's episode. We're going to be going to the Etihad to play Manchester City in a game that I am expecting nothing from, but it is a game we absolutely need to win. So I'm going to go into the tactics, have a think about what we can do to try and get a result at the Etihad, and most importantly, try to nullify Erling Haaland. I'll back in a second. So then, this is my plan to stop Erling Haaland. Is it going to work? Probably not. This is actually quite similar to what we used in the League Cup against them, and we ended up leaving a little bit too much space in behind. So I've lowered the defensive line, and I've instructed my defence to drop off a little bit more. And I'm also thinking Ham Fofana on the cover duty makes a little bit more sense because he's probably the quicker out of my 3 centre-backs. I mean, Skriniar's no slouch, to be fair to him, but Fofana is definitely the more pacier centre-back. So I think having him on cover will allow him to sort of hopefully get back. If Haaland does get in behind the first two, Fofana can be there to hopefully keep up with him and win the ball back. Let's see. Don't be surprised if I end up going to 4-3-3 at half-time once this obviously isn't working. But let's see if we can go to the Etihad and cause a bit of an upset and get our, title challenge back on track. Was it ever really on track? Probably not. Yep, Andy Carroll's on the bench. Okay, don't think we need to talk about it any more than that, really. It is very much a defensive system that I'm going with, and that's kind of the plan. City are so good this year. They score so many goals. I feel like playing with a defensive mentality, it may well work in our favour and reduce the amount of clear-cut chances that they're going to have. All right, 20 minutes in, City do have a throw-in as Gomez finds Grealish. And again, you can see we're just kind of setting our shape. We've got plenty of bodies back, and the hope is that they aren't going to be able to pick out a pass that's going to cut us open, as Rodrigo finds a pass that cuts us open, and we're a goal down. I hate it so much. Is it a world-class pass from Rodri, or is it just terrible defending from us? I'll let you be the judge, viewers, as John Stones picks it up. Maybe if this is the case of how good they are at passing, maybe we do need to play a bit more of a mid-block than a low block, so we actually do press the defenders a little bit more. That's something I'm actually going to try and change. So we are pressing a little bit more often now, and we've gone from a low block to a mid-block to hopefully stop players like Rodri or Marino doing that, basically. How are they getting in behind my defenders every single time here? As Mahrez goes for a goal, it's a good save from Mendy. It's been all City. I definitely think a formation change and going back to what we've been playing all season at half-time is probably what we're going to have to do, because we keep playing like this, we're just not going to get back into the games. Thiago Silva just gives the ball away really lazily there. Chilwell picks it back up and runs into a blind alleyway, basically. Moreno gets away from Mount. It's a good ball. Grealish is in. Mendy, I think, gets a hand to it, tips it onto the post. Okay, then, I'm going to revert back to what I've been playing all season, which is this 4-3-3, and trying to get an overload on that right-hand side with Mount, James, and Felix. It has worked quite a lot for us this season so far. Aubameyang's also having a terrible game. I know it's early days. Schelderup's getting a run out because Aubameyang's offering us nothing so far. As it stands, we're dropping into 6th, which is not great. Only a point outside the top 4 spaces, so that won't be completely gone for us, but we are losing ground, not even to City, but to Newcastle and Arsenal. They are so far clear of us at the moment if things stay the way they are. And we're just not really creating anything now, are we? All right, Poulsen and Gallagher have come on, but time is just ticking and ticking away here, and we are not doing anything. There is a highlight. Is it going to be for us? Ben Chilwell with a throw-in, and can we maybe work something from this position as Chilwell, on this left-hand side, looks for Poulsen, who's got the better of his defender here. Poulsen's through. Oh, Poulsen scores! I thought it was going to go wide. Yusuf Poulsen off the bench has drawn us level at the Etihad with just 10 minutes to go. I did not see this coming. It's an absolutely fantastic pass from Ben Chilwell, it has to be said. And I think is that Ruben Diaz? Yeah, Poulsen just gets away from Ruben Diaz. Lovely finish into the bottom corner. Ederson left completely flat-footed. And just like that, out of absolutely nowhere, it's 1-1. We've got one more sub to make. As you can see, there are a lot of tired players out on the pitch still. So I've really got to choose my next sub carefully. Now, see, the option I could go for is move Poulsen out to the right. Oh, there's no way I'm actually seriously considering bringing on Andy Carroll, is there? Okay, Andy Carroll. I actually am bringing Andy Carroll on. I'm going to put Poulsen out on the right-hand side as an inside forward. Carroll is going to come on. And I've also redone my set pieces so that he's up there for corners. I mean, there is another highlight. The changes haven't come into play yet. Fofana intercepts. Kante looking for Shelderup. I mean, surely not. This could change everything. Shelderup. It's a lovely ball to Mason Mount. Gallagher. Lovely 1-2 with Mount. Mason Mount. Poulsen. It's 2-1. Oh my God. Where the hell has this come from? Yusuf Poulsen off the bench has made it 2-1 to Chelsea at the Etihad out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know what to do now. I don't think. Okay, Andy Carroll. Sorry, mate. You're not coming on. What the bloody hell is going on? Okay, I was going to put Poulsen out on the right instead of Andy Carroll and put Andy Carroll up top. I don't think that's the play anymore. I think what we now have to do, Anton Stack is coming on for Kovacic, and we're going to make him a ball-winning midfielder just to make us a little bit more defensively, assertive in the middle. Go to a balanced approach. Don't high press us anymore. We'll bring the sort of maybe the block. Okay, maybe mid block. Actually, is probably the way to go. We'll drop off a little bit more. We won't counter press as much. We're going to lower the tempo as well and start time wasting. Deary me, I did not see this coming. We were dead and buried, and out of nowhere, I mean, the substitutions have worked a treat. It's a lovely ball from Shelderup, and that 1-2 between Mount and Gallagher is superb. And there's Yusuf Poulsen, completely unmarked. Lovely little cut across from Mason Mount. 9 minutes to hold on at the Etihad, and Erling Haaland, as you can just about see there, is no longer on the pitch, which bodes very well for us. Why is there a highlight for City then? Poulsen, he's done brilliantly to win it back off Akanji, and he's cleaned through. Has he got the legs to get there and finish this off? Shelderup's arriving at the back post. Poulsen goes for goal himself, when really he might have been better off holding up and trying to play Shelderup in. But in these last 10 minutes, we've been absolutely fantastic. 4 minutes of injury time. Newcastle drawing with Man United. And I was about to see what was going to be for the table. There is a highlight. Bernardo Silva has it now into John Stones. Not like this, lads. We've done so well to get ourselves in front. João Cancelo, so much space. James gets rid of it into Akanji. I can't even speak. Ball goes forward again. Cancelo hits it. Deflected. No. Mahrez, it's the post. Oh my God. We have got time wasting on. So Skriniar is just taking his time over this free kick. He is on a yellow card, so he has got to be careful. I've never seen someone get a yellow card for time wasting in FM. This will be a horrible time to experience it for the first time. As we are just running the clock down here. There's 30 seconds to go. Skriniar goes short to Fofana. I think I've still got to play out of defence on, which is probably a mistake. But Kante finds Mason Mount into Reece James. And we've just got to hold the ball now for 20 seconds. That's all we need to do. Do not give it away unnecessarily. Don't give it away unnecessarily. I've just said it and it happened. Cancelo, there's 10 seconds left. Kante and Mount do brilliantly to win the ball back. Just get it forward. Poulsen, hold the ball up. He's done well. Mount, we're into 94. The full-time whistle is blown and we've beaten Manchester City at the end. We could have beat Nottingham Forest at home. And we've just beaten Manchester City at the Etihad. Absolutely unbelievable. And I'll say it, we've FM'd done. I'm so happy about it. That is one of the most unexpected victories I think I've ever had so far on FM23. What a fantastic win. I'd love to see what this means for the league table then. So Man United got a last-minute winner against Newcastle. So they're still just a point below us. But just like that then, we're only now 2 points behind Newcastle and Arsenal. And we are now 6 points behind Manchester City. So, if we'd have beaten Forest and West Ham and Newcastle, we'd be in a very good position right now. Goodness gracious me. I don't know about you viewers. I need to go have a lie down after that game because that was unbelievable. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of the Chelsea series here on the channel. Of course, if you are new around here, please remember to subscribe and leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. And as always, all the info for all my other platforms like Twitch, Twitter, and all that can be found in the description. I'll be continuing to stream this save over the next coming weeks, and I'll make sure to update you via, the medium of YouTube to let you know how the save is getting on. If you do want to come watch me play the save live again, do come and check out the Twitch channel. We're live 3 nights a week. It is a lot of fun. If you do, you might be able to convince me to sign another Andy Carroll type player, so that's always a bonus. But until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, look after yourselves. Bye-bye.